Hello, everybody. This is episode 14 of DuckCast, and I got a haircut. Uh,
Really?
so, it, yeah.
Cool.
So how are you doing today, Zachary?
I'm doing. I filmed finally the update video. I had it filmed for the con I'm going to in July.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah. I mean, I've watched it back. It's decently. It's a good, decent update video. Like, honest to God. So I might just edit that soon and post it Friday. Well, by the time we're filming this. But
Cool.
anyway, so what's up with you? Other
Yeah.
than the haircut.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out is just something that you were saying for the show, like you were saying people aren't even going to recognize me in the thumbnail.
Yes.
We
Great
actually
point.
do have, like, an audience built up now, and it's a small one, but, like, we consistently get over 20 views on every episode, and you do have to keep in mind one of those is me, and one of those is probably you, too.
Sometimes I could check back on them every once in a while to see the comments. So maybe five of them could be me, but who knows?
Yeah.
Well, although they
But
do
there's
reset when it comes to like people, like on the
Yeah.
day that they're uploaded, it's like weird, but the day or a couple days after, it like resets to the exact viewer amount. So maybe
Yeah.
that's interesting.
With
Yeah, definitely me and you
yes,
though.
that's cool. I wish I do. If I don't know if people are actually listening to the entire podcast, I do wish that more people would like leave comments like how Hydra does. Like if you guys are listening, feel like free to comment. We'll
I
actually
mean,
like
if
talk.
if they're anything like me and you, I mean, like, at least for me, like, I don't comment on videos that much. I just watch them. Very rarely I comment on people's videos like yours. But I mean,
Here.
I'm just not that kind of guy.
And I hear you again. Like, but it would just be cool because then we can kind of interact with an audience
Yeah, I
more.
hear you.
So
Yeah,
if you guys ever have any, say it. Because we respond to Hail Hydra like often now, but
yeah. I think I
um
should more so than I do. I don't do it. I don't like respond to his comments as much as you do, because I always see that you
yeah.
respond, and I don't for some reason. I'm kind of a jerk that way. I'm sorry, Hail Hydra, but yeah, he's a
I'm just
cool
a
dude.
better person than Zach, so you know. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so today was unfortunate. And I told Zachary as a joke in a message that today was either going to be a victory cast or a depression cast. And it is unfortunately the depression cast, though I promise not to mope and dope this entire podcast. But I
So
took my
what happened?
license today again, and this
Oh,
is not the first time. This is one of several times I've tried to get my test, and I like was so ready for it, and I fucked it up on something really stupid. And luckily, I came home and immediately scheduled my next test, and I actually was able to get in for tomorrow, which is very lucky because it is very hard to get a test, that takes place even the same week. And the one that was closest after that was all the way as in September. So the only reason I got the one for tomorrow is because someone canceled their test right when I looked at the website.
oh, that's
So I
fantastic.
got fucking lucky.
Yeah.
And now unfortunately, the place I went to today was only 20 minutes away. The place I'm going to tomorrow is an hour and a half away. So I'm driving an hour and a half to possibly get my license.
You said today was like your third time trying it, right?
Yes.
Cool.
And I had to renew my permit while I was there because otherwise after 3 fails you lose your permit and you have to renew it.
Yeah.
So I renewed my permit right after failing and it sucked. It sucks. Like I'm SpongeBob now, dude. It's like I debated on whether or not I wanted to talk about it on the show, and I guess I kind of do. I don't really know. I hate to admit I failed my test 3 times now, though.
It happens, dude. Honestly.
And it's parallel parking too, because I passed parallel parking one of the times and then made a mistake at a stop sign. I stopped, but I stopped a little bit on the line, and that's an instant fail.
I've never learned to drive yet. Like, I haven't gotten my permit yet. I haven't done like the test thing yet. But like from what I've heard, like parallel parking is pretty difficult. So I mean,
I
it's not
hate
hard
it.
to
It's
believe.
not, a lot of people say it's really easy, and a lot of people say it's hard. I think it's hard, but like I don't. The thing is, I don't think it's the most difficult thing in the world to do. I just think that I still make little mistakes, and they're always little mistakes. I've never I've never knocked the cones over or like slammed into the curb. Like, and if you knock the cones over, that basically means if it was a car,
Yeah.
it would be you hit a car, which would be horrible. So I've never done anything that bad. I've always been like a little bit outside of the white line, or I would tap or like go on hit the curb a little bit. But I wouldn't like go on top of it, but I would hit the curb, and that would be a fail.
Yeah.
And then the other one, like I said, wasn't even a parallel parking one. Pinsack is a fantastic parallel parking, and according to his parents, never even had to learn how to do it. It just came natural to him. He was able to do it without even practicing.
Yeah.
And Nick got his license, I think, on his first attempt. Nick is a fantastic driver, and I've been paying him for the past couple months to get me to work because my dad had his injury, and he couldn't take me anymore. And I don't like. It sucks that I hate relying on other people. And I did pay Pinsack. I wasn't like a guy just. And Nick even told me I didn't have to pay him, but I did pay him. But like I hate relying on other people to get me to place. And I mean that's just personally me. So I really want to get my fucking license.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's kind of like that, like when Teddy and I went to enough cons, we were like, yeah, this is annoying. We can see that. Yeah, we should really get our licenses. And like we've said that for the last couple of years now, and like still nothing. But
and I'm not. And different people feel different ways about that. I'm not like trying to give shit to anyone who does get rides from other people. Because I mean, my dad has a friend who's like in his 50s now who still doesn't have a license. I mean, and other than that, he's like a completely fine person. I guess he rides the bus a lot, but I mean, some people never get their license, I guess. But yeah, I've been trying to, and it sucks because I'm actually trying is the thing that sucks about it. It's not like I'm not practicing. I'm practicing all the time. I'm actually trying, and I'm still failing. So that's what sucks about it. I think I've gone on about this long enough. I know it's probably not an interesting topic to talk about.
Well,
but
all I'll say is you'll get better. You know that for sure.
Yes.
No worries. Just keep trying.
Do have update on some of my own projects. If you're down for hearing.
Wait, what?
I said I have some updates on my own projects if you're interested, or if the audience is interested.
Well, they're not going to answer you if they're interested or not, so go ahead anyway.
You and that joke. Anyhow.
Why?
So Bemis and Company has a couple of new episodes coming out, and they're all like planned, and we're kind of changing the way we make Bemis and Company episodes. It's going to be very similar to the old days. In terms of how we write them, but we're definitely gonna like still put a lot of work. Like there's gonna be a lot more effort put into it than the old day videos where we didn't really even use a tripod or know how to set up a camera properly. So it's gonna be like the technical skills of the new videos, but the writing of the old videos. Probably a little less cringeworthy than the old videos. But me and Fred went out today to a Hobby Lobby, and we bought materials for like costumes we're making for the episode, and it's gonna be. We're already working on it, and it's going to be a good one. Cameraman episode 4 is in production. Half of it's filmed. I still have to film with like a couple of different actors, though, for the episode. Across the fourth wall, nothing has changed since the last time I talked about it. And I'm going to be doing something on the Brigade soon, and I've like always kind of like thought back and forth between wanting to do reviews or not. And what I've kind of come down to is I like doing them. I don't think I want to make them very long, so I'm thinking... I can't say I'm doing this for sure because I say it and then sometimes I back down, but I've been writing these reviews where I'm making it a strict rule that they can only take up half of the page of like one page on Word, because I'm trying to make them all very short so I want to keep it brief and just make the small points I want to make without going into great detail of like the story, and like I don't want to go deep into thought really because I feel like the DuckCast is where I do that.
Okay.
That's where I go with like more deep. So. Yeah, those might be coming out, and there'll be a lot of them. Like I wrote a bunch of them today, and they're very specific too. Like one of the reviews is on an entire film and an entire season of a series, and there's another one that's just a review of a single episode of a show. So it's just whenever I feel like I have something to talk about. The first one is likely going to be on the finale of Ed's World. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, for channel reviews. Like, I'm trying my best to, like, make them as long as I can. Because, like, the other ones, the older ones were, I think, too short. I think, like, if I can try to make it, like, up to 20 minutes or longer, like a Nostalgia Critic thing, like, that would be great. I'm kind of aiming for that for each review. The top 10 is probably going to be a bit shorter, obviously, but, yeah, I mean, I hear you about that whole thing. I feel like getting into more detail is kind of... important. Not that I'm saying what you're doing is wrong, but at the same time it's like you still gotta explain like why you think what you think, and sometimes giving in great detail is the best way. Like Godspeed for you. Hopefully you write it well and short and makes everything make sense. But at the same time, I feel like more detail is important.
I hear you. The whole point of mine is it's going to be very fast paced, and it's just I don't really. I just don't want to make reviews that long. I also don't have time to make reviews that long. I have too many shows.
Yeah.
The reviews are just a nice little thing I can work on and release more consistently because they'd be easier to make.
Okay.
I might work on it tonight.
Content over
still,
quality.
well, I mean, it would be quality, but it would just be
I know.
less. There would be less amount of footage.
Yeah.
So I could focus more on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
I've written down a few things because the last episode that we had with Mitzi, right before recording, I was like, I don't have anything, and thank God we kept it entertaining. Like, just in the moment, I just felt like there was things to talk about, and like we transitioned to things, and then transitioned to other things, and that just led to like the very end of the DuckCast where we just talked about a whole bunch of stuff, and like thank God for that. But like today, I was like, oh damn, we're recording a DuckCast. I should probably think of some stuff, maybe write these things down for 5 or 10 minutes, and I just thought of a bunch, or thought of a good, decent amount here. Did you see the recent Rich Alvarez video of the promo thing of Linkle?
The Linkle promo. Yeah, there's gonna be a trailer on the 27th.
Well, we're dating this DuckCast, obviously. I mean, it's already out by now, but for us at least. I mean, what do you think it is for like a psychological thing? Like before it came out, even though it's out by the time this video is up. Like, what are your thoughts on what the trailer might show? Huh? What do you want to say?
I have no idea, dude. You're asking me my opinion on something that doesn't exist.
What if it shows like, the battle that was supposed to happen, but instead it's like, it's just more talk and then like, I'll see you at the end by the end of this, and it's like they just walk away. It's like, what was the point of seeing them? What did you? Or if it turns out to be like Majora's Mask and not Ganon's son, like it's a twist that no one saw coming yet no one cared about, and Richie was just like, I bet you guys are surprised, and then everyone's just like, screw you, Richie, and then they unsubscribe, and then Richie gets poor, and Jackie breaks up with him, and they get a divorce, and she goes back to Dane, and everything's all hunky-dory. I think that's gonna happen in the trailer. I don't know.
I don't care about any stupid Mario World videos. As long as I get my Let's Cook videos, I'm good.
Hey, I'm Rich.
I actually too watched those. I'm not joking.
I think you've said that on the last episode. I think.
Did I say it on the last episode?
You? Or maybe on an episode. I don't know.
I say it to you all the time. I always ask you to
You
just
do, and I hate you for that. But yeah. Have you seen the new Let's Cook, Zach? No, Mike. Cool, I'm going to ask you about that tomorrow. Bye. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's Cook. I'm just going to go into great detail about how Let's Cook sucks on my Rich Alvarez review. That's what I'm going to do. Just for you. All for you. You're going to be so happy.
I understand. Like, I like to make fun, like, kind of poke fun of it because I think it's, like, a very corny series, but there's nothing really wrong with it.
I know there's not. I know, but it's just, like, you love it so much.
I don't love it. I just think it's funny to, like, consider it the best show on Rich Alvarez when it's probably, I think it's the worst.
It's the only consistent one other than Rich Vlog. Like, the last Rich Vlog shouldn't have been called a Rich Vlog. It should have been, like, called the con that he went to. Like, it was a con video. That whole intergalactic expo thing. Like, I bet that was the exact name, actually. But still, yeah. Why did he call it a Rich Vlog? That was dumb.
I don't know, man.
He should probably delete all of his videos because of that. I don't know. Anyway. Tour Cup. That's a cool shirt you got on.
Oh, yeah.
Transitioning to this topic, which I don't know if you've seen the movie. I doubt you have. The recent Fantastic Four movie from 2015. I saw it recently for the first time.
Was it wonderful?
My God, it's so bad. It's really. You're just like. Look, okay. The dude who plays the Human Torch, the black dude, what he's given, he's a great actor. The character just isn't. Everyone isn't, in fact. But, like, I feel like he's at least pretty decent. He's the most likable, at least. He at least gives like some kind of personality, sort of, but not fully. The Thing, like his CGI sucks. I feel like, although his eyes were pretty human, and I like how they moved and all that. His voice was no, it was just the actor's voice. Like they didn't make it all monstrous at all. It was just a kid's voice on the Thing's body, and it was very weird. The girl who plays Susan Storm, she was alright. Logan Lerman, who played Mr. Fantastic, and he was also in Whiplash, by the way, which I know you haven't seen that movie, but I love Whiplash. I thought that movie was great. He was great in it. I feel so bad for him. Like, he just, in this movie, like, he was so bad. His lines, his delivery, one of them was, like, looking up at, like, this apocalyptic thing, and he's just like, guys, we have to stop him. Like, it was so deadpan. I'm like, what are you doing? It's so bad. And all the setup for, like, the villain. Like, at some point, the villain comes in, all with powers, and then, like, 5 minutes later, it cuts to, like, the big fight scene. It's like, what? We haven't seen the villain in a while, like, ever since we thought he died, which we know he didn't, but then he came back, and it's like, hi, and then bye back to the other world, even though he came back, and there's just a lot of stupid things in the movie, dude. And there was a lot of slow, boring parts. Like, it took like a half hour for them to actually build up the characters, and even still, up to that point, they were still getting to the part where they got their powers. Like, they didn't get their powers until like 40-something minutes in. It was so boring.
I heard that there was like 40 seconds worth of action in the movie.
40 seconds, yeah. It's so bad. I recommend it though. It's a good laugh, but my god, it like opens up on him being Mr. Fantastic like as a kid, and like they really like shove it in your face. Like, this kid's autistic. Like, this kid is just like reading this thing in front of the class, like nuclear physics and teleportation, that, like, no blinking, looking straight ahead, just completely autistic. And it's like, then he's an adult and being all awkward and weird, and it's like, are you making autism a joke now? Okay, movie, that's cool and all. Autism is funny. And, like, they do have jokes in the movie, but, like, they're not funny. And, like, they have these parts where there's, like, silence, where they think, like, the audience is supposed to laugh for a while from it, and it's just uncomfortable. The movie has so many things wrong with it. It's just remarkable that it got into theaters, got accepted. And, like, they ended off on, like, the whole, you know, how superhero movies do, like, saying, like, oh, they got their new workplace now. It's looking like it's gonna have, like, more movies up ahead in the future. It's like, oh my god, no. Even in the final scene, it's like, you know, the whole corny, like, you know, them coming up with the whole name. It's like, what should we name our team? And it's like, the torches and the fellas, the Thing and the blah blah blah. It's like, haha, those are no. And then, like, you know, Mr. Fantastic and the Thing are talking, and the Thing is like, man, this whole workplace, and what you know, what has happened to us, it's been real fantastic. And then Mr. Fantastic looks at him slowly, he's like, say that again. It's like, what? It was fantastic. He turns over to the other guys, hey guys, guess what? I got a new name for us. And then it cuts to the credits like, oh, that was supposed to be, oh, hype, oh, good stuff. No, that was terrible writing. You should probably kill yourself. How dare you? It was so stupid, like everything. I hated it.
What a faggot, what a loser, what, no one likes him. Alright.
Every day I wanna kill myself. God, that movie sucked. If they make a second movie, I'm gonna see it, but man, I'm not gonna have high hopes for it. It sucked. And I'm sorry for everyone else that watched it as well. But yeah, Mike, I highly recommend you see it though. Like, it's really, honest to God. It's amazing how it got put into theaters. Oh, it got like a 1 star on Uverse. Like, I checked the rating, 1 star.
Yeah. With
Cool.
Changing the topic, because I honestly don't have anything to say about Fantastic Four. I haven't seen it.
Well, I was just waiting for you to go to another topic.
I'm happy that you talked about it. I was listening. Like, I heard it was bad, and you went into
God,
figured it was bad. But
So what do you have to say about whatever?
I'm at the very end, and it's kind of sad. Now I'm at the very end of Weisenheimer's.
Mm.
I think I have like 3 more to listen to.
Mm.
Technically, there is a lost episode, so I'll find the lost episode after this. I decided I'd wait to watch the last lost episode later, though. And what I'm noticing is that there's 3 episodes left, and where I'm at right now, they're still not talking about ending the show.
Uh-huh.
So I thought it was weird because well, by now they'd be like kind of announcing ahead of time that the show's going to be ending soon.
I mean, independent dudes online, they don't really know for sure. It's just a hobby they're doing.
It is clear, and I've told you that these two had a hard time getting along in the past. It is clear that these two, as the show is going on, they are pissing each other off. Like, it is obvious this is why the show is about to end.
It's just uncomfortable.
It's like, it gets uncomfortable sometimes, and it's enjoyable because like it's an interesting chemistry that they had. And again, this was years ago, and I know to this day Yotam and Max are still friends with each other. But there's ever since there's a point near the show where they lose they're not on their server anymore, so they talked about like switching to a new server, and Max had one. He was offering Yotam to use his, and there was a lot of conflict as they were setting that up. But once it was on his website, as a joke, Max took Yotam off. I forget what exactly it was, but he made Yotam lose control over something that he used to have, like where he would post stuff and like keep in contact with the audience. And despite asking multiple times on the show if Max would let him get back on there, Max just kept saying no as a joke. But it was actually making Yotam mad.
Oh my god!
Because it was something he created and something. It was something that he created and something that he used to communicate and post stuff. And Max, as a joke, was just saying, "Nope, you're not allowed on anymore. Not allowed on anymore." And it's because Yotam did stuff to spite him in the past too. But it's like they just both like keep doing one thing after another to each other, and it's clear that it's becoming more and more personal as the show goes on.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to be... I almost feel like they're going to announce the end of the show in the middle of one of the episodes when one of them goes too far. Because that's the way the show's going right now.
They make a new episode, and they're like, we're back, guys, and then they just have some argument halfway through. It's like, just gonna end this. It just ends abruptly. Like, there's no sign out, and the video just ends. And YouTube just gives you another ad.
There's 3 more... There's 3 more left, as I said. And what I know is with the one I'm watching, like the last one I watched, they made it sound like they still planned on doing the show for years. So it's not like they're planning it now. They where I'm at right now, they still think they're going to be doing the show for a while, but in reality, there's 3 more left. Mm-hmm. So somewhere within these next 3 episodes, something is going to go wrong. Probably off screen, probably like off the podcast, but. Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me how it goes afterwards, and cry on
it's interesting. Don't get me wrong, it's interesting. And I do like Max and Yotam both great. I can't really pick a favorite. I like them both for different reasons.
Once
it's like mom and dad arguing.
Weisenheimer's, I will agree with you, but for now.
I think if you watch it, you're definitely going to be more of a Yotam guy, though. I feel like you'll probably just knowing you, I feel like you'll probably take his side more often. Maybe not so much near the beginning, but once you get to the end, definitely. It's a fantastic show, though. I do think it takes a little bit of time to get into, but it is like it's such a meaningless podcast. Like they never had like a structure, like an organized way that they did the show. Every episode was just kind of weird in its own way, and it's perfect for that reason. I think it's one of the most fascinating podcasts out there. Just the arguing alone makes it interesting. I guess me and you should both talk about something that we both know now.
Well, actually, kind of, yeah. I saw the first 2 episodes recently of Soul Eater.
Yeah.
I don't like the first 2 episodes. I'm gonna keep watching, but I really don't like the first 2 episodes. I don't like the characters so far. They're not likable.
I liked the first episode a lot. The second episode, I didn't like Black Star. I forget how to pronounce her name. I did like his part though.
It's some Asian name, but yeah. I'm excited for Death the Kid. I know he's a popular character. the first time I went to Hatsume Fair, like, I met some dude who has deaf the kid, and my friend Sky, met her for the first time as like one of the two guns, with the red shirt and the hat. Like she was one of them, cosplaying as one of them, and yeah, so it's cool. And I really want to watch the show all the way through, and Soul Eater now if that's on Netflix too, because Teddy's Lord Death on the channel, and I gotta. If I want to write for Lord Death and sketches and all that, I gotta know.
I think the first half of Soul Eater is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I think that it's cliche because it's a bunch of kids in school hunting monsters, but
I don't understand the whole synopsis of the show and the world. Yeah, that's it. I don't understand the world and why the characters are okay with this world. Like in other shows like Avatar, it's like it is the way it is, and it makes sense of why they're okay with what it is. In this show, just I'm not understanding it so much. Hopefully soon.
I forget because it's been years since I watched it. I think it's that you're like in the world, like they're trying. It's something to do.
You don't even know.
It's something to do with collecting 100 souls and becoming like a master scythe or something. I don't.
But is that the thing through the whole entire show?
There's a lot of villains that come in. There's a lot of big things that happen.
But is that the one big objective through the whole show?
Yeah, it's not the focus of the show.
Okay.
It is a thing that is going on throughout the entire show, but it stops becoming the main focus.
Okay.
Now, what I will say is I think that the first half is really entertaining, and I really like the villain of the first half. The second half, I feel like they go several steps back on multiple occasions, and I despise most of the villains. That doesn't mean there aren't good moments. There are some good moments in the second half.
As for animation, at first I liked the combination of 2D and 3D animation, like the sun and the moon. Then, when I started staring at those kind of things more, and like other such objects, it just kind of it was too kid-friendly, yet it wasn't a kid-friendly kind of show. I don't know, it's a weird anime. It's weird after watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I know you have opinions on, but at the same time, I feel like a show like that, as dark as that is, and now going to Soul Eater, it's just kind of a weird change for me, I guess. I don't know. I'm not used to the animation yet.
I don't have a problem with you watching Brotherhood, by the way, because I think Brotherhood is a good show.
I'll watch the original after I'm done, but
I don't think you're going to get into it, though. I think because you're watching that first, you're going to be one of the people who can't get into the original. Because everyone says the original Full Metal Alchemist is so much better, and I won't go on to that rant right now because I'm sure no one wants to hear it, but I disagree in pretty much every single way.
I mean, I'll try my best to go into it with an open mind, but I mean, Brotherhood, just as it is. I mean, I've had some emotional feelings toward it, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Animation's great. I feel like the writing's great, the voice acting's great. It has a great tone to it, I think. Even though it's inspired by like the original thing, I feel like the animation, because I think I saw like a still from the original, and like that compared to the recent one. The animation just looks more high definition. It looks great.
Because the original one came out in like 2003.
Well, yeah, but
I think.
I mean,
just actually
even still, still comparing the animations. I mean, the recent one is still looking better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like Brotherhood. Yeah, and soon I'll get into the other one. And yeah,
Brotherhood's good. I just really, if you ask me to like which one if I have to watch the show with someone, I will always show them the original first, and then let them watch Brotherhood on their own.
It's funny too, because like when the day happened, like there was nothing to do, so I just went on Netflix and saw what anime I should really get into first. I didn't see Full Metal Alchemist first. I saw Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I thought that's what the official show is named, and I just didn't know.
By the way, the last I think like 10 to 12 episodes are missing on Netflix.
Of the original?
Of Brotherhood.
There's all 4 parts, though.
There's 5 parts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at this point though that I haven't watched the show in a while, and I'm like considering just forgetting about it and going to the original now. Now that I'm halfway or somewhere in the third part. Um,
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you should just finish Brotherhood then. But like, you'll have to watch the rest of it online. It's not going to be available anywhere. I mean, I think you can
I
probably
mean, then
find
there's
it.
no real point in just like getting my expectations up, like when season 4 ends and season 5 begins, just like waiting for something to happen, then not getting it. Just watch the original and see what happens in the right
Love.
way.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I love the original, and I think Brotherhood takes it in a different direction, which I love because I don't want to just watch the same one again. My biggest problem with Brotherhood though, when people ask me like why I like the original more, because I'm so crazy for liking the original more, is I think that the original one understands how the emotions of these characters should work a lot more. Not that Brotherhood doesn't get really emotion, has some really well written scenes. They do it a fantastic job too. But there are times in Brotherhood where I feel like the humor comes out of nowhere and they start having like this really wacky comedy in scenes
Yeah.
that are just so inappropriate.
I
And then there are times where, like, let me just finish.
Yeah.
And then there are times the drama where I think they overact it very often, where a character will get too angry about something or too sad about something. There is like it's kind of like what Matt used to say with different ways of acting. Like you don't just go straight to rage and stay there. You build up to it, calm down again. And the original understood that so much better to me. That is my biggest problem, because when it comes to the story, I like the original one more because I think it has more twists. I think the Brotherhood one makes a little bit more sense and is a little less rushed. I'll give it that. But I think the Brotherhood one is probably but I think that the original has more twists to it. And I forget exactly the other thing I was going to say, so that's it. I think the original has better twists, better and better acting.
As for acting
Wait,
for animation is just like that makes no sense. But
I kind of just said something that kind of contradicted something I said. You speak.
When it comes to like the comedy, like I didn't really care much because like since I'm getting like new into anime, I just kind of feel like my first impression of anime is just like stuff like that can happen. Like it could be a dramatic moment and then break into like some comedy. I feel like that's the norm for anime. I don't know.
Hate that. Hate it.
And with that mindset, I guess it's more likable. I don't know. Like I like the short jokes and all that.
I love that, and it's done better than in the original too, I believe. But anyway.
Oh damn.
But it's with to me, those shows like Soul Eater and Gurren Lagann have really, really silly moments, but when it's time to be serious, it takes itself seriously. Brotherhood will break out into humor in, like I said, very inappropriate times, and I hate that. There's nothing that makes I hate more about the show. I also think that Scar and the teacher, I don't know if you made it to the point where you meet the teacher yet.
Oh wait. The teacher as in the main villain?
No. Okay, you haven't seen her yet. Great. Because you need to be exposed to the original one, because I think the teacher in Brotherhood, it's basically the person who taught Edward and Alphonse alchemy.
Oh wait, yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, I know her. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
In Brotherhood, they treat her character like a fucking joke in Brotherhood. In the original, they do a way better job. I think in Brotherhood, they make her they make her too silly. They make her way too silly, and I don't like it.
I don't know. I feel like it works. I don't really care much about the whole the whole synopsis of the character. Yeah, she's the teacher. Like, do I really want to get to know her? Like, I feel like the whole baby thing is just enough for her to be likable, and then the whole silliness I think kind of works. I don't know.
I think in the original they do it better.
Okay, I'll judge for when I see it, but I don't know what you think about what I'm gonna think of it, but I'm telling you this right now. I'm big on comparing things, such as old versus new kind of stuff. So I might not have the whole reaction you might be thinking I might have. I might actually agree with you on things. So
maybe
it'll happen when it happens, but
I don't know. I wouldn't get so fucking defensive over if it weren't for the fact that I'm the only person who thinks that. I mean, I've met one other person in my life who likes the original more than Brotherhood. And me and that person had pleasant conversations with each other, but
I'm sure many people are just the general audience and thinking oh, it looks great. and that's it. But I don't know.
I think Brotherhood is more like an anime too. Like the original one feels more like just a good TV show, while Brotherhood it's definitely an anime.
Yeah. What was the what was the show? Sword Art Online that I felt like was a show and not an anime. Like I like that kind of
That
stuff.
because it didn't have all the really awkward
And I
facial
mean like
expressions and
Brotherhood.
chibi stuff.
I actually see what you mean. Like Brotherhood does have that kind of stuff, like Sword Art Online, like it's a show, but it just makes it also makes you aware like this is also an anime because of those silly moments and those out of character kind of things, which it's likable because if it's an anime, but at the same time it takes away from the story a bit. I hear you.
The original does that too, by the way. I just think they do it a lot less and they make it more appropriate.
Mhm. I don't know. I
And the original also has a good movie. Brotherhood has a movie that's it's not horrible, but it's not a continuation.
I saw it
So
on. I saw like it showed up on Netflix. I was gonna watch it after Brotherhood, but now that you're saying watch the original first, maybe I should watch the original and then the movie.
which movie was it?
It was a 2011 one, so it should have been after Brotherhood.
Sacred Star of Milos, yeah.
Yeah.
Sacred Star of Milos is just a kind of a standalone film. You can watch it. Like
Yeah.
I say, watch both the shows first, just in case that they do say something. They do spoil.
It's a sequel, right, to the show Brotherhood.
It takes place somewhere in between Brotherhood.
Oh.
It doesn't really have a
Because I
specific
think
spot.
I think the synopsis even said like the sequel to the show. Like, nope.
No. It definitely it has to take place in between the show because of stuff that happens in the last episode.
Okay.
It probably takes place pretty early in the show too because it's before things get really complicated. But it's like it's not bad. I think the animation style looks really weird because they change it drastically, but it's not like bad animation, it's just a weird style to go with.
Yeah, for movies they kind of do that. Did they do that with the Yu-Gi-Oh movie?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Now, the movie based off the original series, Conqueror of Shambhala, goes with the show's animation, but a lot better. Like, it's just a movie quality Full Metal Alchemist, and it is a direct continuation.
Mhm.
So, there's the 51 episodes of Full Metal Alchemist, and then the movie. To any Brotherhood fans out there, again, I don't hate the show at all. I actually there are things in Brotherhood I like more than the original, actually, but it's just, they're smaller things, while the things I like in the original are bigger things.
Yeah. And by that, Mike actually means he hates Brotherhood, and you should all just leave hate comments. So, anyway. Cool. Let me see what else I had written down, though. I think I had a few other things.
I said I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, what?
I said I went on my rant, even though I said I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I found it interesting. So did you see the new Nostalgia Critic?
Yeah, I liked it.
I did too. What was I even gonna say? There was a part like we've talked about this, like him talking about politics for no reason. Like it did work. The whole Trump thing. He mentioned it. It was quick. I get it. I don't think he had to leave that in. Like,
he didn't. Well, here's the thing.
Like, even though I agree with him, but at the same, it wasn't necessary.
What I don't like about it, though, I hear you. It wasn't necessary, and
It fit into the topic, yes, but the thing is, he has such a younger audience that's so impressionable. It's not the right thing to do.
I agree with you, and there's one more thing I want to say. I won't really dive into what I think of the president, like the election. I'm not I'm not a fan of Trump, but I'm not really a fan of anyone running right now.
Yeah.
Again, I won't go into why, but what I will say about it, though. Let's cut that out.
Nah.
Yeah.
So where should we be like, okay, so the last part got cut out?
Well, that's just right there. That's where we'll cut it. You can keep in some of it, just part of it should be left out.
Like what? Now be specific. Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch
I'll
it
tell you
back
after
and
the
having
fucking
to
show. This
guess.
is not interesting. I'll tell you after the show. This isn't interesting for the show. Let's move on. If
Okay.
you ever wanted me to cut something out and I was the one editing, I would do it.
Have you ever had a dream, Mike?
No, fuck you. Dreams don't exist. I actually did, and you were in one recently,
Yeah, how was
and
that?
it was it was fucked up actually, and it pissed me off
Oh.
because me and you. It was a dream where me and you finally met up in real life to shoot videos, and then when we were ready, you just told me that you didn't feel like it,
Oh.
so we didn't do it. We
I
fucking met
would.
up.
Fly all the way there.
We fucking met up, went through that much effort to meet up and actually work on something together, and you just said, I don't feel like it, so we didn't do anything.
Maybe that's your inner psyche of like what I act like. That's what
Yeah,
you think I am.
that's true.
I'm that
I
kind
guess
of
that's
guy.
true. Just gonna go like, Michael, I don't really have time.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how it would work out.
Yeah. Great
Moving
story.
on. Moving on, have you seen the new Let's Cook?
So hey, the next nostalgia critic's gonna be Spy Kids 3.
Movie I've actually seen as a kid, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
I think you should have reviewed the other two movies first, and then brought up
Yeah.
that whole guideline from the second movie, but
Well, what's wrong with the other two?
I don't know, it would kind of be fun seeing the critics' reaction to it. I mean, they're not perfect movies.
They're not perfect movies, but they're fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with either of them. I admit, I can agree the third one's a piece of shit.
Hmm.
I mean, okay, I don't remember the first two. I do remember liking them as a kid, so maybe those two are pieces of shit, too. I haven't seen them since my
Oh man,
childhood.
he's gonna have to review the fourth one. Yeah, that movie sucked.
I heard they called it in 4D, and the only way it was 4D is that they had these little scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
Thing
The last time I
Peter and
seen
you
that
see-
happen in a movie was the Wild Thornberry / Rugrats movie. Like that's the last time I remember them doing that.
4D?
Yeah, they had 4D in theaters. Like there were some scenes like you can scratch and then smell the things on like this card they give you. I don't know.
I think that's really dumb.
They did that back in it was
That's
like the
really-
early 21st century, dude. They didn't know any better.
No, but they did it for Spy Kids 4, which wasn't that long ago.
Oh. Well, I never saw it in theaters, so
I didn't see it in theaters. My little sister went and saw it in theaters, and she didn't like
So
it.
wait,
so.
what did they use as smells? Like there was like some gadget and you scratch and sniff and it's like the smell of iron.
You smell gas coming from a car.
Smell like a copper, like from a penny.
Oh man.
You smell Alexa Vega's hair. They took a sample of her hair and cloned it into all the other scratch and sniffs for the movie.
Finally watched
So-
that John Tran H3H3 video.
Oh yeah,
With
it's
the,
good. I love
was
that
funny.
fire hydrant scene.
Yeah.
They just like, oh my god, it's really going off. We should bolt. It's like people are staring at him and said nothing. It was good,
Oh man.
so good.
Yeah, it was funny.
And like the freaking here, hit me, and the guy just kicked him in the face. He's like, whoa.
That was good. That was good.
I miss John doing skits. Like the last time I remember him doing it was with Aaron with the whole game show thing.
Yeah, I forgot that he did skits back then. Actually, I mean, he does like skits in the reviews, and they actually
yeah,
work.
but like
on,
just a video of his skit, like a full episode of JonTron. Yeah, that was cool to see.
with
With what?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else to talk about. Like I know we're getting pretty close to the end, but I say we should go for an hour. I'm just trying to think of like a little bit more content to talk about. Do you have anything else?
I have one thing. I don't think you'll relate too much to it, but I mean. Okay.
Talk.
So I've been telling you I've been playing Skyward Sword recently. It's a Legend of Zelda game, and it's the one with the gimmicky ass motion controls, opposed to the gimmicky ass Spirit Tracks game, which had touchscreen and microphone controls. And you know this game came out just a few years after Spirit Tracks, you know, you would have thought that they would have learned from their mistakes with gimmicks, but no, this whole game is just one big gimmick. The sword slashing, the combat is just it's slower than it should be, and there's things that you were able to do in other Zelda games that felt awesome to do, and then in this game, you're just doing this like the whole time, and like and then you're getting hit even though you're doing the right move. Like there's things in the game like enemies you gotta slide vertically or horizontally, and like you do these things and they don't work, and they should work, but they don't work. And then there's this item called a beetle, which if you remember Aaron talking about on the completionist, he mentioned it, like the whole little beetle thing you fly around with. My God, like replaying the game, like I completely remember how I felt, like just like how Aaron felt, and I understand it now. Like, it's super slow. Like it's going a mile an hour. There was this point in the game where I beat the third dungeon's boss, and then you go to this long corridor where you have to hit this switch in order for this track to move, and like you see the switch, and you gotta use your beetle to get it, and you use the beetle, and you see it, and you're like just doing this. You're doing this in a straight line, getting closer and closer to this crystal, and it could have been like 10 seconds shorter than it should have been from point A to point B, from you to the crystal, but it took forever to get to it, and you're just like, cool, and then when you get it, things light up, and then, oh my God, I just want to mention this, by the way, because it was amazing. There were these statues in that hallway of these little robot things, and there's figures. They were going like this, like the freaking Heil Hitler. And I was like, whoa. And like, not just that, but in that same dungeon, the key to get to the boss room, if you turn it the right way, it was shaped as a swastika. It's like, you have these giant Heil Hitler statues, and it's swastika boss key. It's like, what are you doing, Zelda? It was so weird. I felt very uncomfortable. Just these giant statues saying Heil Hitler as I exit the dungeon. Like, why? So bad. It's Legend of Zelda, everybody, Nintendo.
I was in a game while Zachary was playing his game. We were on Skype.
Oh yes, Generations.
Mine was a Scenic game. Yes, it was a Generations, and I beat it in a day with the help of Gage. Actually, he came over and we did the last two boss fights together, and the boss battles are so bad.
What you have to do?
For anyone who doesn't know, Generations is a game where you play as like the modern Sonic and the classic Sonic, and you get to go through levels from the past 20 years of games as both classic and modern, which is cool. And I got it because I used to play those games all the time, and I was just like, oh, this should be a nice nostalgic road for me. And here's my thoughts on it. The classic era levels were all fun, both the classic versions and the modern versions, except for, I forget what it's called, Sky Sanctuary, I think. In the modern version, that level was fucking broken. It constantly told you to do something, and if you did it, it would kill you. Like, it was so easy to fall off the edge in that level, and it would constantly like lock you onto something that you were supposed to jump at, and when you did it, you would fall off the edge. It was broken. The boss battle sucked, wasn't fun, and it was buggy. The Cody's trying to call me.
Oh no! Don't add him.
I'm not going this time.
Okay.
Add him to. We'll do a DuckCast with him soon. But so that was that. Then there's the Dreamcast era, which is the games like Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Heroes, which were the last three out of all of the games in this one that I've actually played. So once I was done with these, I wasn't familiar with the games anymore. I went through those, and those were all really fun too. And the boss battle actually didn't suck. That one was fun. So all those were great. And then I made it to the modern levels, which was 06, which really they put that one in there. Game that was it's infamous for being one of the worst games ever made. And besides Boom, I guess people hate Boom more now.
They sometimes just do it because it's an anniversary thing. Even Power Rangers, like there was a really bad season called Operation Overdrive, and when the 20th anniversary came by, like 5 years after that season, like they had all these episodes in anniversary season where they morphed into past Rangers, and they didn't even make an Operation Overdrive episode. Like, even Power Rangers knew that. Even though this was also an anniversary season, it was a bad one, and we should not reference it.
I get it. And yeah, but like something that makes it a little worse though is the fact that there are so many other games they could have used instead of that one. There are tons of Sonic games with tons of levels that they could have put instead of an 06 one. Though I will admit, out of all the modern levels, the 06 one was the most fun. That's the screwed up part. Because, okay, so those two were fun on both classic and modern mode, and like on modern mode it wasn't broken like it was in 06. Like, they fixed the level up, so it was actually not that horrible. Then there was this one called Rooftop Run, which was from Unleashed. I never played Unleashed. I never played Colors. And Unleashed was...
Isn't Unleashed the one with the werewolf? Or
yeah,
the werehog?
That's why I didn't get it. The classic version of the level is horrible, and then the modern version is fun. Then make it to the fucking final level, which is from Sonic Colors. I swear to God, if I ever played this game, I would fucking hate it. Because remember how I went on my Wisp rant in the Rise of the Critics episode of Sonic Lost World? That's where the Wisps come from, and you have to use them again in this. So that was kind of like flashbacks to the Lost World. But you have to use it as modern Sonic. You have to use it as classic Sonic too. So they use that gimmick for the classic version too, and it's horrible. It's boring. It is like a horrible final level for the game, and I feel like Generations just has to be like the worst in the series. No, not Generations.
We should do a whole.
I'll never play that game.
We should do a 1 month live stream. Yes, 1 month, because these are terrible games and they'll take forever. But 1 month live stream of you playing your game, your bad Sonic game, and me playing my bad Legend of Zelda game, and we'll see who beats it first.
As a whole, Generations isn't bad. It's just flawed. But like the final boss of Modern Mode was really bad, and then the final boss overall was... I didn't even play it. I watched Gage play it and laughed my ass off. It has been known to be one of the worst boss battles in a game ever, and oh my God, it is.
Is it just too easy?
It is. No, I mean, it's not difficult. It's kind of tedious, and someone's yelling. Holy shit. You can't hear that, can you?
No. Well, don't stop talking or else we will.
My little sister's having a temper tantrum right now.
That's great. So anyway, back to your story.
Back to my story. Yeah, like, it's... I feel like, I feel like half the stuff I said was good, and then the other half was bad, and yeah, half of it was bad. That's better than all of it being bad, like Lost World, but,
There was a boss, back to the third dungeon in Skyward Sword. It was, like, such an easy boss. Like... Usually Legend of Zelda games, like, even easy boss in Legend of Zelda games at least had, like, some kind of little difficulty to, I don't know, something fun about it. This one, it was like this giant scorpion, which actually, it looked and felt like a mini-boss, not an actual boss of a dungeon. And all that was, it was like the scorpion who had its claws and the eyes in it, slashed the eyes. If you slash him enough, the arms poof out, and he has no arms, then he just uses his tail. And then his eye is exposed, and you just stab at it. And if he goes underneath the sand, you blow on the sand with this gust jar, and you reveal it. And it's always like that, because he's so easy to find. And you just keep stabbing at him. Honestly, I think it took like 4 stabs in the eye, and boom, done. And like when the scene happened, like cutscene when he was like struggling, I was like, is this phase 2? Is this more of the battle? And like, no, he just died. And I'm like, wow, that was the easiest boss ever. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
There's... Sorry going back to Skyward Sword a bunch, but, like...
Okay.
Replaying it again, like... When it comes to dungeons, like... In most Zelda games, in dungeons, like, yeah, there's things like ladders and stairs that, like, get you a new perspective, like a new, height on things. But there's also floors in Zelda dungeons, like different numbered floors. In Skyward Sword, it's pretty much just one big floor with many rooms, which is cool, many rooms. But it's just one big floor, and it makes things feel a bit small. Like the first dungeon, especially. The second dungeon felt a bit more like a dungeon, not fully. The third one, yeah, it felt like a dungeon, but no, it's just one big floor. It's weird. Yeah, yes, I'm only at the first 3 dungeons of the game, and there's more to it, but at the same time, I'm just not seeing much. And also the map design, even like the overworld stuff. Just a lot of things look the same. There's no identifiable marks. And like when it comes to fast travel, you go to these beams of light. Like there's different areas. Like in Skyward Sword, you live on like this floating island in the sky, and like on the surface world, you can go to like different areas. They're like the forest, the volcano, and the desert world. You can only fast travel to places if you go toward the certain beam of light that they're from, which is also stupid. But like when you go to these beams of light, like for example the volcano world, there's these little indicators, these little checkpoints that you've been to. It's like, where do you want to fly to? Where do you want to land on? And it's like they're named these things that they're not identifiable. It's like West Volcano, volcano entrance, and it's like, what part of the volcano area was this? If I want to drop down here, it's like, and then when you drop down there, hoping you're at the certain area and you're not there, you're like, damn it! Now I have to go back up to the sky, make a U-turn with my bird who flies really slow, and then go back and try another checkpoint, see if that's it, and if that's not it, you gotta keep repeating the process just to go to a place you want to go to. They can show like a little picture of the area that you want to go to and be like, oh, that looks recognizable. I think that's the area I want to go to. Then you fly to it, and it's like, oh, yeah, that was the area. But no, it's just little bird statues with a name. That's not helpful. You gotta keep flying and whatever, guessing if it's the right area or not. It's dumb.
So final score of the game.
10 out of 10.
For me,
I mean, look, I'm getting to a point in the game where it's starting to get a little fun. There's things about, like, mechanic-wise that are okay. But for the most part, there's things also like mechanics that they just don't work. And then, like, there's things in, like, the layout and map developments, like the map, what's it? I think I even said the word before, but just like there's no, like, doesn't feel like there's any effort when it comes to map design. That's it. There's no good map design effort being put into this game. I feel like it's very bland, and it's just very, for the 25th anniversary of the Zelda games, this is the best we could have gotten in a short time. Like that's what it feels like. I think maybe even Aaron said Skyward Sword was like just brought out like quickly, kind of like that Sonic game for the Wii U. The Game Grumps played. Yeah. I forgot what it was, but like that one was rushed. And Skyward Sword, I mean, it has good things to it, but there's parts of it that, yeah, they do feel rushed. It doesn't feel completed, and it could just be way better. And again, I didn't beat the game yet. I've only been the first 3 dungeons out of I don't know how many dungeons, because usually Zelda games have a good number of dungeons, a lot. So who knows? Maybe I haven't seen much from it yet, but so far it looks for the game that's supposed to be the beginning of the Zelda timeline, it just feels like an ordinary Zelda game. It doesn't feel like anything that's like the beginning of everything. And this is the Link that you should be rooting for out of all Links. Like, no, this is just some phony ass wannabe Link who like runs low on stamina when he tries to run. He makes this noise like, like, oh, I'm tired. Like, no. All the other Links, they can roll and run around freely and feel like a man, and you feel like a boss when doing that. And like this Link is just like a wuss. He's nobody.
Imagine a Sonic game like that, where he's running really fast, like for a couple seconds.
Is there a Sonic game that you run out of stamina or something? Like there's this gauge when running or climbing things?
There is a feature in the game, it's called a boost, where you can run out of boost, but you'll still run. Like basically, the boost allows you to go extreme, like really fast, even faster than you should be. But even if you run out of boost, you can still run You can still run fast.
There's the birds when you're flying in the sky like that. The birds, like just like Epona, where you have like the carrots and you go like and you go a bit faster. The birds are like that, except instead of 5, it's only 3 feathers to make them go faster, and it's not even that fast. And also, just saying again, with map design in the sky area where you fly around, compared to Wind Waker, where it's this giant sea where every island was an important island and had something on it. In Skyward Sword, there's this whole sky area where you can fly around freely, and there's only a few islands that are important, and everything else are just rock chunks just floating. Some of them have enemies on top that can shoot at you, which have no purpose. Some of them have chests that can't be unlocked until you unlock things on the surface world, which is a hassle to get to each and every single one of them. Yes, it's a collectible kind of thing, and that's kind of fun, but at the same time, getting to these sky chests in the sky is annoying, because when you're flying above them and having to drop, sometimes you miss, and then you gotta be like, bird, come back to me, now I have to make a U-turn and go back. and then there's these other rock chunks that you can boost your speed, and they don't even take you that far, and it's annoying. And everything's just really slow in Skyward Sword. You know, I'm not doing what you're doing right now when you're talking about your things. I'm actually listening and
I have been listening.
Attention.
You've been going on for a long time.
I'm just saying, it's just I'm naming things at the top of my head that are so annoying about the game. Everything's so tedious about Skyward Sword. Why? And people like it. There's some people that like this game. Like, I know there's some things to like
Peanut
about
Butter Gamer likes it.
There's some things to like about this game, but not everything. Most things, in fact, are terrible, and it's dumb. The story's alright. It's alright, not for the first ever Zelda game. I mean, there's funny things. I don't know.
Also, in my defense, there is like yelling going on, and it's like been hard to hear you for some of this. I'm glad that you can't hear any of it, but
ironic, I said I hear you when you just said you can't hear me. But anyway, so you want to end this, or do you have something else to say?
I have one more thing to say about my game, and I promise, like what I'll say about it is I feel like maybe I shouldn't go too hard on it, because honest to God, if I were a kid, I would have loved it more. The only reason I like the older games is because I grew up on them. If I played them today, I would hate them. I would hate Adventure. I would hate Adventure 2. I'd even hate the classic games if I were to play them today. Because I grew up with them that I liked them. And the reason I got this game was kind of like because of nostalgia. So I'll give like a number score if I do a review on it, because I probably will, because it's something that's like kind of fresh in my mind right now. There's a lot to like about it. There's a lot of missed opportunities.
How many guacamoles would you give it?
I don't know.
Like as a rating?
I guess.
Well, then I'm just gonna talk so that no one hears any of that, because that's kind of embarrassing. So, how many guacamoles out of how many guacamoles do you rate the Sonic game?
I hate the show.
Okay, cool. I give
this is the last.
I give Skyward Sword 4 porridges out of 4 guacamole bars.
This is the last episode ever.
Okay.
Next episode we do Macleod and Smorty cast.
You just contradicted yourself, but okay.
I know. Do you want to do Macleod and Smorty? I have had season 3 written for a while, and I kind of get most of it now.
Ask Cody and try to calm down your goddamn family, and yeah, then we'll do it.
It's just my sister, by the way. I don't know what she's so angry about.
Yeah, if you want to do Macleod and Smorty after this, I'm all for it.
I promise there's not like any domestic issues here. Like it's just a.
You just hear from a distance, like a smack.
Otherwise, ask Zach to cut it out. I'm not going to ask him to cut it out. It's just a sister freaking out. I don't know I don't know what's making her upset, but someone's making her upset. So
that's cool. So you want to end this or what?
Well, we should end it on a more positive note.
Black people are cool.
They are cool.
They are. Not Chris though. Chris Bownight. He sucks. He's the blackest of them all.
I like Chris.
That's the only Chris I like. So
see, the joke. The joke is the person he films with the most is a guy named Chris, and he just insults them.
Oh. So check back again to Chrisora Gaming at chrisoragaming.com/chrisoragaming for another DuckCast.
Be sure to bye.
I was like, where's Mike going with this? Alright, bye everybody.